Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for the TEAS. We have been solving math problems out of this book here, the study manuals for the TEAS. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. The problems that we are about to solve are the ones that you will find on page number 71. Please turn to it. Page number 71, and today is our lesson number 19. On page 71, we learn how to go about estimating problems in the exam, which is a very important concept to understand, because you do not have a luxury of figuring out the precise answer to every single problem. You simply don't have enough time. It will be a sheer waste of time, waste of precious time to sit there and figure out the exact precise answer for every single problem. Second reason is because it's a multiple choice question. Nobody's asking you for the exact answer. It's a multiple choice exam. As long as the answers are written far apart, which they usually are, you should be able to locate the right answer if you have a good estimate. And that's the key, if you have a good estimate. Let's look at the very first one. In the first problem, they're asking us the product, estimate the product of, this is number 29. 2.29 as they call it. Estimate the product of 76,899 and 634. Let's see what we can do, okay? First we'll do the very rough estimate like the way they do it in the book, and then I'll show you how to do a little bit more of a refined estimate, okay? 76,899 in the book, they tell us, pretend this one is 77,000. It is a very rough estimate because, as you can see, it's more than 100 apart. It's not 77,000, it's 76. It's not even 76,900, so we are 101 apart. We're going to end up counting 101, 634 extra. So here, by doing so, are we overestimating or are we underestimating? That's the key part. Let me put my cap back on so I can give you a sermon. Estimating is fine and dandy. A lot of the times people go around estimating, but you must always, whenever you're in the process of solving a problem and you're estimating, you're rounding things number left and right, at each stage you must be fully cognizant of whether you're underestimating or overestimating. Every time you round something, ask yourself, am I underestimating or am I overestimating? By doing this, we are of course grossly overestimating, because it's not 77,000, it's not even 76,900, it is 76,899. So by doing so, we are overestimating. And then they go here and they pretend that this is 600. But it's not 600, it's 634. So here we are underestimating. And the hope is that the overestimating here and the underestimating here, the hope is that it's going to they're going to wash each other off, and the final answer that we're going to get is going to be reasonably close to what the real answer is. Well, we'll find out. What do we have to do now? We simply have to multiply. Forget the zeros. Don't pay any attention to the zeros right now. Don't waste your time with the zeros. We have 77 and we have a 6. Let's find out what 77 times 6 is. 7 6 are 42. 2 carry 4. 7 6 is a 42. 42 plus, I said carry 4, that's right. 42 and 4 is going to be 46. So there you go, 4, 46, 4, 6, 2, and now you stick your zeros back. Make sure you count them properly. I usually count them by actually putting lines underneath them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't depend on your eyes. Don't try to. There are smart ways of saving times and there are not so smart ways of saving times. Don't, by looking at them, you think you're saving 2 seconds, but that's not a very smart way. Just put lines underneath them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. They are done. Now we can put our commas after everything here. So it looks like it is approximately 46,200,000. That's the approximate answer. Now we're going to do the same thing and we're going to get an answer which is a little bit of a refined answer, a little bit of a more precise answer. Are you ready for it? Let's take a look. This part is done. I need the room, so I'm going to erase all of this thing because we need the room. What we're going to do is actually put down our rough answer that we got, 46,200,000. Remember it. $76,899 times 634 we're claiming was 46,000. 46,000, 200,000. Now let's see what happens. Okay, pay attention, see what happens. This time around, we're not going to go bonkers. We're not going to take a wild estimate. We're going to be more reasonable. Let's pretend that this thing is 76,900. Okay, just listen to it. 76,900. Now we're only going to be one off. Instead of counting 76,899, 634, we're going to count 76,900, 634. So our final answer is going to be off by only 634 because we're going to carry on, we're going to carry only one extra 634. Let's do that. So now we take these three digits, 7, 6, 9, and we're going to multiply it by 634. Let me get rid of this marker permanently because it is there. If I don't get rid of it, I'm going to keep picking it up. That's it, we're done. Let's start the process. Enough said. Okay, stay with me in the story. This is where you have to slow down because careless mistakes are very easy to make. 4 9s are 36, 6, carry 3, carry 3. I realize that I don't have enough room here to do the second stage and the third stage. Let's bring it down a little bit and you will see what I mean by that in a second. 7, 6, 9 and 6, 34. 7, 6 are 34, 9 4s are 36, 6, carry 3, 6 4s are 24, 24 plus 3 is 27, 7, carry 2, 7 4s are 28, plus 2 is 30. That part is done. Let's go on to 3. 3 9s are 27, 7, carry 2. You see, cross out that 3 and put a 2 there to remind yourself that you are no longer carrying 3, you're carrying 2. Now we are at 6, 6 8s are 18, plus 2 is 20, 0, carry 2. Even though it's the same as before, but cross out that 2 and put a 2 there to remind you that came from the second stage. We are still at second stage. 3 7s are 21, plus 2 is 23. We're done with the second stage, we're done with the 10 digit, now we move on to the 100 digits. 6 9s are 54. You must know your tables. You must know your tables 1 through 10 by heart. If you have to stop and waste 5 seconds to figure out what 6 9s are, this is what I just said. 6 9s are 54. That's what I just said. And you shouldn't have trouble understanding that. 6 9s are 54. 6 9s are 54. 4, carry 5. Cross out the 2 and put a 5 there. 6 6 are 36. 36 plus 5. 36 plus 4 is 40, so it's going to be 41. 1, carry 4. 7 6 are 44. 7 6 are 44. 7 6s are 7 6 are 42. 42 plus 4. You see, I didn't have to remember what it was because I wrote it down. I don't remember it. 42 plus 2 is going to be 42 plus 4 is going to be 46. 6, 14, carry 1, 5, 7, 8, wow. Looks like 48 million. Oh, we're not quite done yet. We're not quite done. I'll tell you why we're not done yet. Okay, now here's what comes in. You see, we took this actual number that is 76,900. We left out the 2 zeros. I'm going to put them in a different color so you can see what's going on here. There were 2 zeros here, right here. There are 2 zeros here. This 0 and that 0. We left those out. We need to insert them here. This 0 and that 0. We ignored them. So at the end, when we get done with our work, we have to go back and make sure we insert our zeros. I don't know if it's legible or not. This 0 and this 0 came from here. That's our final answer. So the final answer was, the reason I caught myself because we already knew that it was about 46 million, and without the 2 zeros I wasn't getting 46 million something. It's 48,754,600 is what we're getting. Now what does that number represent? Are you able to tell? Are you able to articulate what that number represents? What that number represents is this number, 48,754,600 represents 76,900. 76,900 76,900 634s. That's what it represents. This quantity represents 76,900 because that's what this is. This is 769 is this part. This 900, these two zeros came from there. That's where these two zeros came from there. So this represents 76,900 and 634. We don't have 76,900. We have 76,899. This answer is pretty damn close to the real thing because it's only off by 634. And if you want to be even more precise, you can subtract the 600, which will give us 48,754,000. And this answer is only 4 off from the real answer. Only 4 off. Because we subtracted 600. Well, actually, no, not 4 off. It's 34 off, not 4 off. This answer is 34 off the real number. When we subtracted 600, we were supposed to subtract 634. Because we have to subtract 634. And now we don't have 76,900 634. So this represents 76,899 634. This represents, approximately, it represents 76,899 634s. It is off by 34. It is off by only 34. That's what I mean. If you're approximating, that's fine, but you have to know where you are in your approximating process. In your approximation process, that is. We are off by 634 because at the end we were supposed to subtract 634. We just subtracted 600. Actually, that's bloody good. That's bloody good. We could have even stopped here. We could have even stopped here. That's still very close to the real answer because we're only off by 600. But the reason I subtracted 600 because it's such a nice 600 sitting right here. You just have to get rid of it. It becomes 3 zeros. That's all. Let's do the next one, shall we? I know it took a long time. It takes a long time because we're learning right now. We have to understand the process. But once you get hang of it, you see that that process goes very fast. But you have to know what sort of liberties to take, because that's all it is. It's a matter of taking liberties. When the other way to express the idea of approximation, another way to express the idea of estimation is to take liberties. If somebody asks you how much is 99 times 34, well, that's around 3400 because 100 times 34 is 3400. Do you understand? So it's okay to take liberties as long as you're reasonable and you know what you're doing. So the answer that I just gave you, we're going to be off by 134 because we took 134 instead of 9934. Let's do one more, shall we? On the next page. I'll give you a second so that you can absorb it while I absorb my tea, as usual. Next one. Next problem is actually on the next page, on page number 72, which has to do with some sort of a, no, 72, I don't know. No, it's not 72, on the same page, 71, but at the bottom of the page where we are given the exercises. I'm not paying attention. On the same page, 71, on the bottom of the page where we are given the practice problems. Number 1. We are told that we are taking a trip which is 1865 miles. We are told that we're going to drive a car which gives us 32 miles, we are told, per gallon. 32 miles per gallon. The question simply is how much gas we're going to burn. How much gas are we going to burn? How much gas are we going to burn? Let's find out, shall we? The number of gallons that we're going to burn, number of gallons that we're going to require is going to be approximately, again we're going to approximate because obviously nobody in their right mind Nobody in their bloody right mind is going to sit there and divide 1865 by 32 for two reasons. One is that you don't have the time, simply. Second reason is that even if you did have the time, nobody's going to give you extra credit for this extra work that you're doing. Nobody's going to give you extra credit. The problems are worth what they are worth. And it's a multiple choice problem, as you already know. And the answers are far apart enough that you can locate the right answer by approximating. I'm going to approximate here, we're going to approximate here. Okay? But we're not going to approximate in a gung-ho manner that the book does. We're going to be a little bit more precise, a little bit more refined. Let's pretend that this 1865 is actually 1860. And let's pretend that instead of car giving us 32 miles a gallon, let's pretend that it gives us 30 miles a gallon. That's it, we're done. So we're pretending that the car gives us 30 miles a gallon. We're pretending that our trip is 1860 miles, not 1865 miles. The rest is very simple. 0 cancels out. Now how do we know that how do we actually know that this number that we have here, 186, is going to be divisible nicely by 3? We learned that yesterday. As I always remind you, I do not have the luxury of repeating the same things over and over again. I take it for granted that you watch all the video in their proper sequence, because there is a lot that we can actually get out of those videos if you have the time and the willingness to actually sit there and learn the material. Time and patience, that's what's required. And effort, obviously. What we learned yesterday is that as long as the sum of the digits, if the sum of the digits of a number is divisible by 3, then the number itself is divisible by 3. One more time, I'm going to get out of the picture here. It says if the sum, S-U-M, sum of the digits, if the sum of the digits of a number, sum of the digits here is 1 plus 8 is 9, 9 plus 6 is 15. 15 is divisible by 3, that's why we know that 186 is evenly divisible by 3. As long as the sum of the digits is divisible by 3, the number itself is divisible by 3. That number is divisible by 3. We're going to find it out in a second. Let's begin our process. Okay, let's find out how to divide. Don't divide it longhand. Don't do it in a childish way. Let's learn a grown-up method, shall we? How many 3's in a 1? 1 has no 3's. That 1 goes and joins the 8, becomes 18. How many 3's in an 18? 18 has 6 3's. That's it, we're done with 18. How many 3's does 6 have? 6 has 2 3's. Voila, that's it. So it turns out that we're going to require approximately 62 gallon. Approximately 62 gallon, that actually is a pretty damn good estimate, even though I say so myself. Do you understand? We're going to require approximately 62 gallon. But if you wanted to, listen very carefully, if you wanted to, now all of this thing we're doing for learning purposes, not for the real exam, you understand? Just for understanding and getting, improving our skill with the numbers. These are lists of percentage problems from long time ago. I don't know why I still have them on the blackboard. We are all done with the percentage problems. Tomorrow we're going to move on to doing the ledgers and the checking account and so forth. We're done with the percentage problem. I'm going to erase those things. But before I erase it one more time, if you need help with the percentage problems, these are the videos that might help you there. Just type in the tag revise GRE math, put in this tag and put down day 84 through 893. There are 10 videos. Day number 293, day 302, 303, 304 and 305. There are 15 videos altogether. If you watch all of those videos and practice those problems with me, you will find that at the end of the process you will be far more comfortable with the percentage problems than you are right now. Do you understand? I'm going to erase them. Yes, I understand that we are not here for the GRE exam, we are here for the TEAS, but math is math. Watch those videos and you will get something out. I'm going to carry on this process a little bit more, watch what happens. Here's what's going on. In reality, the car that we are actually driving is actually a little bit more efficient than what we assume it to be. We assume that it gives us 30 miles a gallon, actually it gives us 32 miles a gallon. So are we underestimating or overestimating? That's the answer. That's the question you must always ask yourself. Are we going to actually consume more than 62 miles or less than 62 gallons rather? Are we going to consume more than 62 gallons or slightly less than 62 gallons? Of course we're going to consume less than 62 gallons because we are overestimating, because we're dividing by a smaller number. We were supposed to divide it by a larger number. When you divide something by a larger number, the number gets smaller. let's see what happens. Let's see how far we can go with only 60 gallons, shall we? It only takes 5 seconds. I'll show you. This is how many miles we get per gallon. This is miles per gallon multiplied by 60. I'm going to pretend that we can make our trip in 60 gallon. I want to see whether or not it's possible. Instead of 62 gallon, I think 60 gallons should suffice. I think so. My gut feeling tells me that that should be more than enough. Let's find out. So this 0 just comes down here. 6 times 2 is 12, carry 1. 18 plus 1 is 19. You see, right here. Turns out, these are 60 gallons. Turns out that with 60 gallons we can travel as far as 1920 miles. We only have to go 1860 miles. It's going to require actually even less than 60 gallons. That's it. That's all. So if your tank takes 15 gallons, and if you fill it up each time, you should be able to make the journey very comfortably, just filling it up 4 times if it takes 15 gallons each time, because you need 60 gallons. Understand? Let's move on then. Okay. We are done with this one. Just give me 1 second. Next thing that comes to my mind just now. Next thing that comes to my mind. Let's get rid of this problem first before I go into this thing. We are done with this part. I hope I don't forget what I want to talk about by the time I finish. So sometimes that happens. I close the video and I forget what I was going to say at the end. But you know, as we say in the desert, c'est la vie. We are on next problem number 2, which is a very silly question. We are asked to estimate 257,143 minus 98,765. 765. Let's pretend that this number is 257,000 even, and this 100,000. Let's pretend that this 98,700. Well, 98,765 is almost close to 99,000. We're going to pretend it's 100,000. We're going to pretend that it is 100k. I don't know why we even make such a fuss. It's 250,000 minus 100,000, so the answer is approximately 157,000. That's all. The approximate answer is 157,000. The very last thing that I'm going to do, and I'm still debating if I really want to do it or not, because it's going to take some time, and I don't know if you might think it's silly. If you want to learn this technique, listen carefully. If you want to learn this technique to find out if the number is divisible by 3 or not, let's do an exercise, shall we? Let's do a long problem to learn it. How do we find out if a given number is divisible by 3? Well, we take the sum of the digits. Listen very carefully. We take the sum of the digits and we ask ourselves, is that sum divisible by 3? For example, here's my phone number. 1-800-808-7737, which by the way translates into PrEP. 1-800-808 is the phone number. Let's find out if this number is divisible by 3. There we go. And for those of you who do not know what this thing is called, this is called shameless plugging in. That's what it's called. Shameless plugging in. Let's do it, shall we? Let's see if this number is divisible by 3. What is this number? This number looks to me like it is 18,008,087,737. Is this divisible by 3? Let's find out. We're trying to divide it by 3. Now, listen very carefully. Now the theory dictates that I actually sit here and add up all the digits. That's what it says here. Sum of the digits has to be divisible by 3. That's what the theory dictates. But in reality, you can cheat. You don't have to add up every single digit to see if the total sum of all the digits is divisible by 3. You can look at one digit by itself or subgroup of it. For example, 8 plus 7. How much is 8 plus 7? 8 plus 7 is 15. We know 15 is divisible by 3, which means these two play no role. These two play no role because their sum is divisible by 3. Here I see another 8, here I see another 7, this 8 here, and this 7 here. 8 plus 7 again is 15. Those two are going to play no role. Oh, I see another 8 and another 7. Oh, what do you know? I see another 8 and another 7. They play no role. And that 3 by itself is 3. 3 of course is divisible by 3. That's not going to play any role. What are we left with? We are left with only 1. So what does it tell you? What does it tell you? It tells me that it is quite safe for me to walk up to a girl in the bar, and if I wanted to impress her, I would tell her, did you know that if you were to divide 18,8,087,737 by 3, not only that it is not divisible by 3, but if you did try it, you're going to have a remainder of 1. Boy, God, she'll be all over you. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Bye now.